Hello everyone, today I'll be making a mini video for new players of how to do the cheats for Warden of Nothing. So if you want to go for your solo Grandmaster solo and you keep getting bungee at the boss fight, there are two mini cheeses, or I would like to call them shortcuts, that you can use to take down the final boss. Since now we have Banes on Grandmasters, we have to be very cautious, or in other words, we have to be very careful when dealing with certain Banes. So I'm going to show you the first cheese, and then I'm going to show you the second cheese. So what you do is you make sure you take down all the champions except the barrier champion from the left side. Make sure you make that barrier champion confused as ever, because you will see the Vex barrier champion will be walking around so confused and pretty much wouldn't know what to do. Another thing I would advise is make sure you have solar resistance if it is solar threat. For this Grandmaster, it is solar threat. So this is one of the cheese spots where you have to go on that top platform up there. Now, if you are in Titan Warlock, you could just run also on Hunter if you are not an Invis. The Vex is harmless as a fly as long as you don't stand still and let the Vex champion damage you, then it will melt you. So right now I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna give you an example where you need to jump on this platform, you jump on this little edge, and then you jump up. And then there you go. You have officially did the mini cheese spot. And this is where you can take down the barrier champion. Right up here. Really fun. And yes, there is join allies, so make sure you don't go and join allies during the boss fight. You can also jump on the platform from the opposite direction as well. You don't have to stay on this spot all the time. But for Titan mains, or let's just say if you are using a bolt charge or you are in Healing Rift on Warlock, many players will prefer this spot or the other spot from the right side. So you can stay on this spot, but just be careful with the sun. If the Warlock, if the final boss is using his sun, the solar attack, and is still damaging you, you can jump on this platform right here, and you can avoid getting one shot from the solar threat. Now let me show you the next mini cheese spot. Now this cheese spot is really good, but there is pros and cons, and the main reason is the RNG of Banes. Now yes, you can see the boss there, but you must jump on the platform from the third bar. If you look really closely, there's 1, 2, 3. This one right here. You must jump on the invisible platform. So I'm going to show you right away of where to jump. So make sure you jump at the third. So hug the wall, and then you'll be able to jump on the invisible platform. And this is the second mini cheese spot. So right now I'm just jumping. I'm just showing you that you can go on this cheese spot. Now the pros and cons. Now the cons is if you are on Warlock and Titan, you must be very careful of backing up. So I would recommend 3 steps behind. So 1, 3 steps behind when doing this cheese spot, because the worst scenario is you are backing up and then you fall down and you won't be able to jump back up. Where for the Hunter, since you do have the double jump, even though you back away a little too far, you'll be able to jump back to the platform or to the invisible cheese platform. So it's around 3 steps. So you can see here it's 1, 2, 3, and I'm just doing an emote to show you how far you can stand. This is the max of where you can stand. The 4th step is when you fall down. And just make sure when you do the steps, make sure it's just a light tap with the controller, or I guess with the mouse. So you can see I almost fell down, I jumped back. That's another reason why I'm on Hunter, just to show you the example of what happens when you step 2 back. So that's the 4th step. So make sure it is 3 steps behind, or you could just get or just 1 step or 2 to do DPS at the boss. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, no good. So make sure it's 3 steps or 1 to 2 steps. So this is the 3rd step. So right now I'm just showing you what it looks like. And yes, you can shoot through the invisible platform, which is really funny. But let me tell you the cons of this cheese spot. Now there is Banes for Grandmasters, and the problem is that if you have a if you have a Noah Bane, let's just pretend I have a Noah Bane, it's a possibility that it can push it off the map, even if you're using a glaive. Or you could use your super, let's just say for example on Titan, and you can use your charge attack to avoid the super. Or you can use grapple and avoid the one shot for the Hypernova Bane. Or you can use the dash for the Warlock on solar. Or you can use your super to float back to the cheese spot. So now I'm just showing you once again, this is the first cheese spot. If you are a new player, highly recommend to try this cheese spot first and then try the second one next time. And the reason why I say RNG is when I was doing the test run of the first cheese spot, I didn't get any Nova Banes. I just got the Shocker and Mines. When I was doing this mini cheese spot, then I got a Nova Bane and it pushed me off the map. I had to grapple or I had to be on Titan and then just charge attack. Now you can use a glaive to avoid getting one shot from the Nova Bane, but it's the shockwave is the problem where it can push you off, and especially if you're on a hunter, it'll just be a huge mess of trying to jump back to the invisible platform. And this is just something that is extremely random and extremely RNG that I have no control, because sometimes when you are doing the cheese spot, you won't get a Nova Bane. So if you are going for the invisible platform cheese spot, try to take down the boss as fast as you can. As much as you can with kinetic tremors, with a strong long range weapon, with linear fusion rifle since it is unstoppable to stagger champions. You can also use a glaive in case, or use a roaming super or a super that you can float back to the invisible platform in case the Hypernova Bane tries to push you off, if you do get one. So let me just show you of doing the mini cheese spot. So make sure you take down the bigger champion far distance, and you must go to the cheese spot before the boss spawns. If you don't, then the boss is going to push you off the map. Another con of doing this invisible platform cheese spot is you must take down the last bigger champion, and you must be close to the cheese spot. Where the first one is, you don't really have to worry about anything, but just make sure you take down bigger champion at the cheese spot. Now this mini cheese is really cool. I mean, you can jump, you can use your super, and if you have a linear fusion rifle, you can use it right away with kinetic tremors. So if you're doing this cheese spot, highly recommend to take down the boss quickly as possible. And the best thing I could think of is using kinetic tremors, using a linear fusion rifle, lemon arc. But just remember, you can back up 3 steps. You don't have to hug the wall too much, but I do recommend to crouch if the sun or if the solar is hurting your guardian. But as I said before, this spot is not so bad. I really like it, but unfortunately there is going to be bad luck or randomness where you have to deal with a hypernova bane. Unless you can take him down quickly, but like I said before, it's random, so everyone's run's always going to be different. But you can see I'm using Leviathan's Breath and I'm doing pretty decent damage. So this is just one of the mini cheeses that you can do. So now I had to redo the run so I can show you the cheese spot for the first one. So if you are a new player, you want to solo, highly recommend to try this one first. Alright, so now I'm going to go on a cheese spot. And now we're going to go take down the barrier champion on the cheese spot. So I'm definitely going to show you how this cheese spot works. It still works to this day. This one's really old, and this is one of the perfect mini cheeses that you can use to take down the boss. The only bad thing is it takes time to deal with the boss because he doesn't really move so much to the cheese spot, but you can stand on this platform or you can stand on the right side. So right now I'm going to do DPS at the boss. But you can see that the glade bubble can help you deal with the solar attack, and also when he does that spam solar room. Also when he does spam the solar attack where he basically makes the whole room like a sun like this. And the glade bubble can help you of not getting damage from it. So when I was doing this mini cheese, I did not get any hypernova banes. So banes are extremely random. And if you do get one when doing this cheese spot, you don't need to worry. It'll either push you a little bit, but it won't hurt you since you are behind the wall or the ceiling. I don't think the hypernova bane can one-shot you. I don't think you need a glaive when going for this mini cheese spot. I did mess up my tether, but you can see I'm not really used to doing cheeses for Warden of Nothing. So you can see I'm very rusty on doing cheeses, but I want to show new players of how to do the mini cheese. So make sure you use your tether around this spot where I'm standing. So I'm waiting for the boss to cooperate, but you can see that sometimes its solar attack can burn you. So when this happens, you can use a glaive or you can jump to the ceiling platform, which you will see very soon I'm talking about. But yes, the boss sometimes likes to spam its solar attack, so just be very careful. Make sure you deal with the hobgoblins too. I forgot to mention that sometimes they like to throw grenades at you. So I'm just looking and waiting for the boss to float around towards the mini cheese spot. And yes, there are snipers, scions. I'm just waiting for the boss to cooperate. So hopefully he will float around, and I have a lot of heavy which I can spam. But you can see that we're doing DPS at the boss, but you can use a linear fusion rifle. A linear fusion rifle would be better because the weapons I'm using right now, it's not like the best. I think it's better of doing the non-cheese method in my personal opinion, but doing the cheese spot with this loadout is not the best. I would prefer a linear over Leviathan's Breath, but you can see proof here that you don't really need to use meta weapons to do DPS, so to complete the GM with a cheese spot. It's just an example in case players get a little picky of me using meta weapons. And yes, there are players who are very picky with cheese spots. That's the half of it, 50%. And we got the 50% where we love cheeses or we love these shortcuts to deal with the boss for Warden of Nothing. Alright, now the boss is being very awkward. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it was floating very fast. But, you know, I think because it was trying to deal with the Minotaur, because the other enemies, because they're not the same race, they are fighting each other. But there you go, guys. You can see they do take time to despawn as well. But this is the strat for 2 different methods to go for the cheese spot. Highly recommend going for the first one and then go for the second one if you want to try again. But just be warned, the Hypernova Bane is the one's gonna mess up your run, so make sure you have a backup to go back to the invisible platform. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.